Devin Green, and I'm a student at J-Tech, and I'm going to go over some safety precautions and procedures. First thing you should have is your coveralls, your work boots, and something I don't have, your safety glasses. This is called PPE, personal protective equipment. And optional if you like, some rubber gloves, a hard hat, and first thing you need to do is to make sure that you understand your surroundings and everything in it. Come with me. In case you have to work on a vehicle and you have to start it on the inside, you need to make sure that you have ventilation systems so you don't breathe in carbon dioxide, which is good for plants, not for people. Follow me. Now, throughout the whole garage, there's dangers everywhere. You have to make sure that you watch out for any clutter or anything like that. You need to make sure that you always know where emergency equipment is, because you never know when an incident may occur. So, you always want to make sure you know where your fire extinguisher is and your fire alarm. The fire extinguisher is very important, like I said before, and the proper use of it has an anagram called PASS. Now with PASS, the P stands for pull, which would be this pin. You'll pull the pin out, and the A, which is aim. You will take this and you aim it, and make sure you aim it at the base of the fire, not at the top, because you got to do nothing but pretty much blowing wind on it. But if you aim it at the base, you're going to extinguish the fire more quickly. And the second S is the sweep. So you go at a left and right motion while squeezing the handle. Out of 10, the fire extinguisher will be next to the fire alarm. Before you grab the fire extinguisher, it's very important to pull the fire alarm to allow other people to know that there's danger. And over here, that's unimpeded, which means that there's nothing in the way of you getting to it, will be your eye wash station. You know where your eye wash station is. This is to wash out any chemicals out your eyes or any debris that might fall in it from doing your day-to-day work. These are stands. These are the larger ones for the larger vehicles. And they also have some smaller ones for smaller vehicles. We also have jacks. Now, when you jack up your vehicle, you want to make sure that you don't use the jacks alone, that you put down one of those stands to hold up the vehicles, because jacks aren't, 100% reliable. Before starting up the hydraulic pump, you will need to physically look and touch the wires and examine them to make sure that they're not fried or frayed, has any cuts or abrasions in them. Then after visually and physically inspecting them, you will be able to operate the hydraulic lift. Now what we're going to do, next thing I'm going to show you is the hydraulic lift. Now hydraulic lift, it might seem difficult, but it's very simple. Over here we have the pads. Now each pad will go into each bracket, like so. Now, you want to make sure that the pad is low enough to fit up under it. But if you have a higher vehicle, you want to make sure you use the higher pad so that the hydraulic lift don't have to work so much to lift it up. And how you will lift the hydraulic lift, I'm not going to make you lift this vehicle, is actually push that button. This button to lift it. And of course, the vehicle will lift with it. And you want to keep lifting it until you hear that. Until you hear it clank like that. That lets you know that it's locked. So if anything was to ever go wrong with the hydraulic lift, it will only go so far. Now, once you finish doing what you need to do up under the vehicle, you're going to pull this lever all the way down. Make sure it's all the way to the bottom and press this lever here. And what this lever is doing here is releasing the locking mechanism that was holding it up. And once it's all the way down, you release everything. And to keep things in order, you're going to put these pads back where you got them. One thing I forgot to mention, you want to make sure that all the pads are even on both sides of the vehicle. And we also need to go over disposing of oil. Now what you do is you make sure you catch all the oil in the oil pan and take it to the oil dump. And here, this is where you would get your oil. No, this is where you would dump your oil. But first, you clean it out in these 50-gallon drums right here. I have gloves. I would actually do it. You got gloves? Where you actually turn it sideways like this, you have another rag while scraping it onto these drums. And gotta make sure you put things back where it's found. Orderly is part of safety procedures. Now at times, you have a piece of the frame cracked or bent, so you would have to come in here and weld it. Now as you see these guys in here, while they're welding, they have barriers in between each one, that way the spark doesn't hit the person in front of them. And they're also wearing headgear with a face protector and eye protection because the sparks are really bright and it's to cover your eyes. Okay, right now we're going to go over tool safety. It's very important to use your tools in a proper manner because not only misusing tools be dangerous to you, but it also be dangerous to your pocket. Breaking your tools will it will cause you to have to buy new tools and even injure yourself, like these wrenches. Wrenches can be a very valuable tool if you use them correctly. But if you don't have them on correctly and you torque the wrench too hard, you can end up hurting yourself, and then you have a hazard with blood and mixing with oil and whatnot. Socket wrenches can be broken too if over torqued, so you want to make sure you do those correctly as well. Now you have these screwdrivers. A lot of material is used with screws, so screwdrivers are very important as well. And also, if not used properly, could hurt you. Some more screwdrivers. Now you have these hammers and mallets, which you won't use often, but the misuse of them could also cause great pain. And and you have the chisels. Now, out of all the things, I think the chisels would be one of the most dangerous ones, especially since you would use them with the mallet most likely. And as you see, they have very sharp points. So you want to make sure when you use them that you always use them away from you. And this is my conclusion of tools and tool safety.